All right, so I'm going to try and walk through the script on a simpler use case, which is posts. I built Local Area Blitz to help me spin up multiple geo-relevant location pages for my service-based clients, but recently had another agency approach me to use this for blog posts because they were injecting a geo-relevant paragraph at the top of every blog post and they were having it human written. So I modified the script a little bit. I'll do another video down the road because the page optimizer includes images, it includes georelevance, and it includes a couple of different sections of blurbs. So it's a little more involved, even though I could do it all on the back end. So what I've got here is a copy of a blog post I wrote last summer about these gentlemen who run their own tree clearing and tree service business here in my neighborhood. And I renamed it to Post Toasty. I'm a dork, whatever. So the rest of this is the blog post that I wrote last summer. And then what I did was I put my short code post toast here and I put it right here. And so what the parser is going to do is this is going to use this page as a template. And when the template comes down, it's going to find every instance of post toast and it's going to replace it with the paragraphs that I have in my CSV. Well, how did you get all those paragraphs? I used, and there are plenty of YouTube videos out here on how to use an app called Data Fetcher. It's a paid app, but it's not like crazy. And it does use OpenAI, which is also paid, the API. But again, you can do a lot without spending even a penny before you start hitting limits. So what it does essentially is it takes this prompt, which this prompt is a formula. It's all the same except for the city right here. So write a single unique paragraph in a friendly tone that describes unique aspects of Anchorage, Kentucky. Be sure to mention a connection with Rooted Pie Digital Marketing Service Louisville area. So of course it's my blog, so I put something relevant to mine in this request to OpenAI. And then this is what returned. So what this does is it uses Data Fetcher to go and call the OpenAI API. You also have to tweak some of the settings. I turned the sensitivity up so it would give me some unique results. And I set the token limit at about 200 to make sure I got a full paragraph. Because if you don't set it high enough, you'll get a partial paragraph. And if you set it really high, like you want it to write you several paragraphs, you have to actually tell it, make sure you complete the paragraphs. And so these are the results that came back. Anchorage is a small community located just outside Louisville that has a lot to offer. And then Barber Mead is a charming small town located in the heart of Louisville, has a rich history. Point, it's a small town just outside Louisville, offers a unique blah, blah, blah. So they're all different. They're all somewhat unique. So the majority of the blog post is going to have the actual story. The rest of them are going to be relevant to those neighborhoods at the beginning and then where I injected in the middle. So what I did then is I pull it down. And this is the CSV that the script will read from. So we've got title. This is the page title. This is the meta title, meta description, which are all the same except for, the city. And then I didn't actually use more than one post in here. So these are the same posts that you just saw in Airtable. So let's get rid of that. And here's the post itself. And now we're back in the back end. As I said, here's post host, and then here it is again, and that's where it'll pull. And then notice down here, if you're using Yoast or Rank Math or something like that, instead of an SEO title, I just put meta title because it's going to read from the CSV as well as meta description. Again, when I do the pages, I also do images that are geotagged with tags and with data and with Latin long that are tagged on the images too. It's had some really good effects. Got fired by a client last week because he couldn't handle the business he was getting, which is good and sucky, but it's all right. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to export posts. And you either want to assign this to a unique category or to you and a unique author that's not on any other post. Otherwise, if you have multiple posts within the downloaded file, it's going to mess with the script and you're not going to get the result you want. I've got this assigned to test as the author. I'm going to download the file, check it out. Let's put it in here. And I hate this naming convention, so we're going to call it export. Let's see, posts. Okay, so we've got everything we need. and I'm going to go to my config. Okay, export.xml, post toasty posts. All right, so the GUID, that's the one thing I'm going to have to go into the export file to update because it's got the post ID assigned to it, and if I don't overwrite it, it will assign that same post ID. It's something I need to fix, but so I need to change this to GUID, which is another shortcode that's going to be replaced in the output file. Otherwise, you'll get an error when you upload it, and it'll just overwrite itself a bunch of times, and you'll probably get the last page left. All right, so we save that, get out of there. Oh, we didn't need to get out of there. All right, so here's one I did earlier. Get rid of that. That's the output file. So let's do some stuff. Oops. Boom, file's done. And we go to our output and we go to our file. Looks a lot larger than the one that I just downloaded because it has 10 blog posts in it as opposed to the one I just downloaded. Let's see if we got the result we wanted. So now we go to import. This is the first time you do this. You have to install importer, which is just a button click. I don't know. I'm sure the WordPress folks know what they're doing. So hopefully, let's see. So it's just going to assign it to the same author as before unless you want to change it. You can. I don't. This way I can sort by all of them and delete them all again, particularly because this is a test. All done, have fun. So let's go to our posts and see if it worked. And it appears to have worked. So here are all 10, and they're all in draft status. So if the file I download is in draft, all of the output files are going to be in draft. If it's published, they're all going to be published. So let's take a look at, and it's probably better to have them in draft just so they don't just go live and you forget about it and they get indexed, and if they're not ready. So let's take a look at Brookpoint. Yep, so it replaced the post toast at the top with the blurb from Airtable, and then it did it again right here. You have to think through this a little bit for your use case if you want to spin up multiple posts. The pages there's a lot more to it. I can show you examples if you're interested of clients of mine who I have created on one of them up to 100 local area pages for local neighborhoods, and it has had a very big impact on his Google Maps reach and his near me searches in different neighborhoods throughout the Louisville area. Another one up in Peoria in Illinois. So let's look at it here. Yeah, so it's the same blog post, but the very beginning is unique to that neighborhood. And then you wanted to have a second unique paragraph or write a whole bunch of unique paragraphs. You wanted to get crazy with it. That's it. So I had one, and now I have 11 blog posts that are unique to these neighborhoods. And all I have to do is turn up the tokens a little bit to get more information plugged in so there's more unique content. Thank you for checking this out. If you got any questions, give me a shout.